All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Parentis Perspective Show here on KCXL 102.9 FM and 1140 AM, where it's all good. I am your host, Dylan Parentis, and we were off last week because of Labor Day. I get those two mixed up all the time. But now we're back. So much news has been going on, so it's going to be a really great news day. We have today joining us Michael, who is in the studio. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing just fine.
He is doing well. And then we have Gavin, who is over Skype. Are you having a good day, Gavin?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
He didn't want me to ask how you doing. He felt like it was cliche, so I was like, just how you having a good day? You know, I don't know what to say. Anyway, so all right, Michael proposed a question before we went live, so we should cover it.
So okay. It was a pretty simple question. Would you rather have a nice house in the city, or would you have a not so great house, but livable in a rural area?
So, what do you mean by not so great? Like, am I
just not very large?
I flushing the toilet and there's a water main busting?
No,
in the basement?
Everything's functional. Everything's functional. It's just not very large.
Okay.
Doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
Okay, doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
You don't have your own personal elevator.
Oh,
let's just say that.
Yeah, it's just so it's basically like a normal.
The pros and cons of them are very debatable, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, okay. What would you pick, Gavin? Let's just start with you. What are you picking? Are you living in a bad house in the rural areas, or are you living in a nice house in the city?
Okay, well, it kind of depends on that not so great house, exactly how not so great it is. But I'd probably go with the nice house in the city, even though I kind of hate living in the city, and I have a nice house in the city.
Yeah, well, because I mean, you live in LA, and it literally takes you like 30 minutes to drive to the Walmart. So it's like we drove out to the Renaissance Festival today. Took us like 34. The only reason it took longer is because I took a wrong turn on the highway.
I thought that was the way back.
That was on the way back, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why it took us longer to get back, yeah. But other than that, it was like 38 minutes. There was no traffic. Like, we never had to slow down.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. The only time we ever have to slow down is like if you want to change lanes and there's someone next to you. So
then again, it was a Sunday, so.
Yeah. And 9/11. But I would definitely go with... We're pre-recording this on Sunday, by the way. This isn't like live in the studio. But anyway... that's why if we say today is 9/11, don't like yell at me. Anyway, but yeah, no, that. What were we talking? Oh yeah, I'd take the nice house in the city. I think. Yeah.
That would.
But I do want a lot of land to shoot on.
That's the question. Like, would you rather? Also, it risks people being very rude to you in the city.
Because people are rude in the city. Are there a lot of rude people in LA?
You still have to follow these laws.
Yeah, no one's nice here.
All the city laws, no guns, none of that.
Yeah.
You can't have any of that.
Well, we have pretty good laws here in Kansas.
Kansas, all right. Well, the suburbs are. It's like a mix. Yeah. Kind of.
Well, because it's nice around here.
You get the nice people from like the rural area and like the convenience of the city.
We're like almost at the rural area. Like my house, like Michael's house, I would argue is like right in the middle of the suburbs.
Yeah.
You're like right in the middle of everything. You're like right in the middle of Overland Park.
Towards your area.
I'm way out, like 20 minutes from Michael, and it's more rural. Like we're almost we're like that very end of like the
edge of
area.
Overland Park. Well, I mean, it's not edge of Overland Park, but it feels like it. Yeah. Might as well be.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, so today was 9/11, or today is 9/11, I should say, and so the presidential candidates were like, "Hey, we're gonna go to the 9/11 memorial," because I mean, you kind of have to. It's like forced. Because it's
Did Gary Johnson go?
I actually don't know.
Oh, no, he was in Massachusetts at Bill Weld's house.
Oh, yeah, he put out a tweet. He's like, at Bill Weld's house today. Forget 9/11. Just going to go to Bill Weld's house. He's probably like, what is 9/11?
What happened in Aleppo?
What is Aleppo?
What is Aleppo? What was that all about?
There's a city in Syria that's like the hub of everything going on in Syria for the past, 8 years called Aleppo.
Aleppo? Like all one word.
It's like Aleppo. Yeah. It's like a leper, except Aleppo.
I thought it was like the. Huh? It's a place, right?
Yeah, it's a city.
It's a city.
And literally, like, there were news stories a week before where it was like bombing in Aleppo, blah 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 blah. And so it's like you should know what it is.
Okay.
Like he had no clue. He's an idiot.
I thought it was just Aleppo, like the subject of Aleppo.
No, it's Aleppo.
Aleppo.
Because they were like, so what would you do about Aleppo? And he's like, a what? And they're like, Aleppo. He was like, and what is Aleppo? Like the way he asked was just so, and it was just, and so he's getting a ton of heat for that. And people are like, Gary Johnson supporters are like, what happened to the chair?
I had to move back.
Gary Johnson supporters are like, oh, well, Trump didn't know the name of a king in Saudi. It's like, Yeah, because they picked some king of some small Middle Eastern country as a gotcha question during the debate. Like, no. And the nuclear triad, which was also a gotcha question. Like, no one that isn't in the Senate isn't going to know what that is.
What is Aleppo?
What is Aleppo?
What is Aleppo?
He's like, and now what is Aleppo? And they told him, he's like, got it. It was like, he's just so weird. It's like he's not even there. It's like Gary Johnson isn't really even present with like the situation he's in. He's just kind of like removed from society.
Too much weed.
It's so weird. But yeah, so today's 9/11. Gary Johnson didn't go. He's at Bill Weld's house. But Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton went because they were doing their thing, which, I mean, you kind of have to, like I said. But and this is where things get interesting. During Hillary Clinton's visit, she had to leave early because she was like falling over. Literally. Have you seen the video, guys?
Yeah, I saw the video.
Yeah.
Like multiple ones.
The one of her trying to get in the van shows. So she's standing outside of the van. The van pulls up. They open the door, and she's like toppling over. Like, it's pathetic. She looks like it'd be like if you replaced her legs with like warm noodles that you took out of the thing. It was like she was just like falling all over the place. So they had to come carry her into the thing.
Spaghetti.
It's like Superman and someone threw some kryptonite on her. That's literally what it looks like. So they barely.
It was pretty sad.
It was. It's. And here's what's bad. Okay, so anyway, they get her in there, and it comes out they report she has pneumonia, which I don't believe at all. I think there's something going on with her. Like, there's no way she has pneumonia. They're just doing that to kind of get the.
Yeah, that was the cover up.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
the
I
cover
heard.
up. If you haven't watched House of Cards, so that's the cover up. But this is what scares me, and I'm not doing it as like a thing like, oh, I'm going to attack Hillary Clinton's health because I don't want her to be president. It's not that. I'm literally nervous that if we get Hillary Clinton as president, she's going to die. Like, that scares me. Like, I don't want to elect somebody as president of the United States that's literally not healthy and makes us look weak.
Absolutely right.
Oh yeah, and so there's like a reports that she was wearing like anti-seizure like glasses or like lenses for.
Oh, is that why
glasses.
her glasses were so weird?
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah.
The yellow.
God, there's something wrong with her.
Yeah, no. You saw when that reporter asked her a question like June or something like a while ago, and she just like started tweaking out like.
And they said it was because she was surprised of how big the crowd was.
She kept doing it afterwards. I think that was like a recovery, just to not make it as awkward.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see, like, the lady that was trying to ask her the question or whatever, she was like, "Whoa!"
She's like,
she freaked out,
yeah,
too.
she was like, what's going on?
It was like spreading over to me.
It's not often that you, like, randomly look at somebody with the microphone and then they, like, spasm. Like, if anybody's used to having large crowds of people around them, it's the Clintons. So there's no way that was just, oh, that's surprising,
Yeah. I mean, it might happen to us just because we're a bunch of Huygens.
Yeah, if it happened to us, because we're Huygens.
Yeah, probably.
Like, if she was, like, if they turned around and there was a crowd of people looking at me, I might be like, whoa.
You'd start busting out and dancing.
Yeah, I'm not going to seize, but that's a little tricky. So she literally seized, though.
Yeah.
Like, it was not good. Not a healthy woman. And I'm concerned about it because, again, I don't know anything about Tim Kaine. I never hear Tim Kaine come out and speak. I know nothing about him. If she dies, Tim Kaine is our president.
Yeah, I remember I had to ask you. I was like, who is their VP? I have no idea.
No one knows who Tim Kaine is. He gets up. He has, like, no enthusiasm. He's, like, more low energy than little Marco. And he gets on stage, just the most boring speaker. He's like, guys, I found it very interesting. That,
He seems dangerous to me.
Yeah,
He's
he
very
seems
weird,
very
too.
weird. And I don't want him to be
Tim Kaine.
president. Yeah. I mean, he just looks like a normal guy. Like, Mike Pence has a
looks pretty
forgettable
cool.
face. Like, Mike Pence is a guy, you see him on the street, and you're like, oh, hey, and he's a nice guy and everything, and then you're not going to remember meeting him later. You know what I mean? Because he's just a casual person. Like, Trump, if you meet Trump, even if he wasn't famous, you'd know you met Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very distinct faces. That doesn't mean you're ugly or anything. Just very unique.
Yeah, very unique face. He's just like, I mean, but he is kind of, let's be honest, he's ugly. Like, he looks like the frog meme.
he's an interesting looking guy. But, I mean, we should try to make that much more clear. Unique face. Yeah, everyone's, like, unique, but...
Yeah.
You can, like, people are,
Yeah.
I'm pretty generic looking.
Yeah. Michael is very
I'm
generic
probably
looking.
one of the most generic people that he's had on
Michael
the show.
has, like, brown eyes.
Brown eyes.
He has, like, a
normal face,
normal nose. Just, like, normal ears. Like, you have the normal hair. Like, yeah.
Just nothing, like...
And then you're, like,
out there.
6 foot.
Yeah, just completely
He's literally
normal.
6 foot. Literally normal. I'm
u-
sitting here 6'5", huge nose. Like...
But the thing is, it fits you. And it's not even a bad thing. People get really... I've heard a lot of girls that are like, all right, I like big nose, big ears. I'm like, you don't even understand. Like, if it fits the face, then it works.
Yeah. You gotta have a big face. Like, if you have a big face, you have a small nose, that's not good, right?
You see
Like,
those
some
people a
but then
lot.
there are some people. This is the one thing I can't stand. People have big mouths.
Those scare me.
Yeah,
I have a tiny mouth.
you have a really.
I have
Small,
really
I have
small
like a
mouth.
normal sized mouth. There are people who like their smile literally from ear to ear.
It's a little.
You know who has a small mouth is Donald Trump.
He
Oh, it's
does.
like he talks like it literally looks.
like a little circle.
Yeah, it's like someone drew like a little circle on him. It's like a
Cheerio.
Snapchat mouth. Like you do a little Snapchat mouth. Anyway, we got so sidetracked just then.
I digress.
But so I mean, okay, she leaves the thing. Now, the media is actually picking up on this. For a while, they refused to pick up on this whole Hillary Clinton thing. Like they never spoke about it. Not even Fox News would talk about her health. You know, they had the CNN doctor who tried to talk about it got fired from CNN for bringing it up.
Got fired?
He's on leave. Yeah, he comes on.
Just today?
No, it was like a week ago.
Oh.
He comes on, he talks about it, and then he's gone.
Okay.
And Hillary Clinton, and Fox News now is talking about it. That's what concerns, or that's what really, like, once it gets out like that this is just destroying her chances of winning. Like, even if because people are going to look at that and see weakness, they're not going to vote for her. You know what I mean?
You'd think they'd figure that out ahead of time, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I hope they don't vote for her. Like, that video of her that's honestly pathetic. Like, she needs to just go sit down and just sleep. She needs to get some
Yeah,
sleep.
I don't think it's pneumonia because they tried to play it off, and if it was just pneumonia, like she would have came out and said when she was coughing all those times, like in her speeches, like, "Oh, I'm not feeling well, like I have pneumonia,
Yeah,
and I
if
should be
she
over it
just
soon."
said
But no, they try to hide it. So
Yeah, I mean, she's been coughing constantly for the past, like, for the past, like, for a long
Months.
time, for months.
yeah,
and now all
she
of a
coughed
sudden-
up the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, we're gonna, hold on.
Is medical doctor?
So she's been coughing for, medical doctor.
Medical doctor?
She's been coughing for months. Of course, I forget to start up the timer again. Hold on. She's been coughing for months. And why didn't she just come out, like Gavin said, good point, and just say it was pneumonia then?
Do you think it would have hurt her anyway? Like, if they said it...
Well, I mean, she
little
was
bit
had
ago.
pneumonia for a long time. She was
Yeah.
coughing. There's a video of her online. And we're not going to take the whole show up talking about Hillary Clinton's health. There's a lot of other stories to get to. But she was like drinking something and it's so gross to watch. She had a cup of water at a rally. Well, Gavin saw what happened, dude.
Well, you saw it too. I mean, she's coughing really hard, and then like it looks like she has the thing in her mouth, and she quickly like gets her cup of water and takes a sip, and then like when she puts the cup back down, like spits like something into it, and it's like green and like
There's like
it's
two of
pretty
them, like
big.
dunk, like coming in there, like paintballs.
Yeah.
It looks like she shot paintballs into the water from her mouth.
It looked like solid, like it didn't look like just like mucus. It was like really gross.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Yeah, let's not talk
It's so
about it.
gross.
Makes me gag.
Oh, it's disgusting. There's
When
something.
you see the
wrong-
video, it's like
I wish we could show video on the air, but we can't. But it is so gross. Like,
Send a Dylan a tweet if you threw up hearing that
yeah,
or whatever.
it's
it is.
disgusting. I am not. There's something wrong with her. But anyway, we're gonna get to more stories here on today's episode of the Parentis Perspective Show. So make sure you guys stay tuned. A lot more to talk about here. All right, so since 9/11, it's the 15th anniversary, which I feel like just because it's the 5, so it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because a lot of people, we talk about 9/11 and we hear about it every year and the same kind of things happen. I mean, there's really nothing different that happens. I mean, if you're in school, the teachers are like, 9/11, here's some video on it.
Yeah, and then you'll go and watch Fox News. It'll be some kind of news conspiracy
Yeah, they have the
theory.
same thing every day on Fox News. It's like the time of terror or something, some Fox News show. And
Yeah,
you
special.
never really like talk about what was behind 9/11, like the terrorism, and then what we've learned from it. Like we never talk about that. And I feel like that's the most important thing because honestly, like that was a horrible terrorist attack. And that shook the country up. Hundreds of thousands of people died. It was just a horrible, horrible situation. And it seems like now the world is almost less safe than it was prior to 9/11. You know what I mean? Like, the world before 9/11 was more safe than the world now, and the world before 9/11 gave us 9/11. And now the world's less safe. So, I mean, do you think we're going to have another terrorist attack? Like, do you think that's possible?
it's completely possible. It's whether or not it's likable, which it probably is.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Well,
to
I mean, because what really has
sense.
Obama done? I mean, Obama's president.
Yeah.
He's done nothing to counteract terrorism. They set a flag on a hill. ISIS sets a flag on a hill. Obama's like, oh, bomb it. We spend like $1 billion in bombs on the hill, and then ISIS runs back in their foxhole, comes out later. Like, we're not doing anything.
Yep. Sounds about right.
And I mean, that's why it's so important, I think, that we get Trump, because he'll actually combat ISIS. Like, he'll actually make a change in ISIS, make a difference. And I think that's really what we need right now.
Gain ally.
Yeah.
With Russia.
With Russia, that's what we need too. A lot of people don't think about that. I did a whole video on this. Check out my YouTube channel, Dylan's Daily Show. I did a whole video about Russia and our alliances with Russia, because right now our relations with Russia are horrible. We have absolutely no relationship with Russia whatsoever, and it's not good. Like, why in any way, shape, or form would we want to have any sort of conflict with Russia? And it's funny because Putin likes Trump. Putin loves Trump. He came out and said Trump was the one great leader in the presidential race. He loves Trump. Hillary Clinton literally sold our uranium reserves to Russia, had the Russian reset button, did all this stuff. Remember Obama's famous, we have to wait until the election's over to make deals, quote that he said to Putin. Yet, Putin likes Trump. It's just...
shows you know where the leadership is.
Yeah.
You'll see pictures of Putin with... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think it's funny that like people criticize Trump for like Putin liking him. They're like, oh, well, it must be some terrible thing. Like, he wants to control him and like he has power over him. It's like, no, it's just how Gorbachev liked Reagan. That ended the Cold War. It's like, it has nothing to do with control. It has to do with making deals and getting along for once, not having like a stalemate relationship with another country for no reason.
Yeah. That's the reason. I think that's really what it comes down to is the relationship with others. Because right now, and Obama. I mean, if Russia really wanted to have a pushover as president, he would support Hillary or Obama. That's what he would support. I mean, he wouldn't support Trump because that's the last person you're gonna be able to push over. Now, there may be like the whole Trump is an experience, so Putin may be able to, but I don't see that at all.
Yeah, no.
And experience doesn't matter. People think experience matters. It has no bearing on how good of a president Trump will be.
Yeah, I made a good video about that one. I totally agree with it. Too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because literally you can promote other people as long as you're a good leader, because that's what we need right now. We have horrible leaders as president of the United States, and it's horrible.
You made a good discrepancy of like how, having experience is good, but you don't need experience in Washington specifically, like what you said.
Life experience is really good. Common sense experience.
Yeah, being a leader, he's, a businessman.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're more of a leader running a country than being in the Senate and voting on stuff.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'm looking down at Breitbart right now. Everything is about this Hillary Clinton. I mean, did you see her face today? She is not looking good, dude.
Get more green in the face.
She is just not. Oh my gosh, I am so concerned about her winning. But the poll numbers are flipping around too. That's another thing. Donald Trump's got the election on lock right now, basically. Like what is he? Like a 10-point swing in the past 3 weeks.
It's like unheard of. Too.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's making this huge swing, making a huge comeback.
Was it after he went to Mexico?
After he went to Mexico, well, it's because he's become more presidential.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
that's one of the main
sense.
things, because he's become way more presidential over the past couple of weeks, and that really helps. All right, so
do you even remember 9/11? Like where you were?
On the day of 9/11, not really. I remember I was at school, but I don't remember what I was doing. Like, what do you remember?
I remember my mom.
These stories are always funny because everyone's like, it's just like, and everyone's stories the same. It was a normal day. I was going about my schedule, and then all of a sudden the news comes on, and I'm like, what? And then it's like, and then another building. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then it's like the plane goes. I'm like, what? And it's like, anyway, go on.
But yeah, no, I mean it's pretty accurate. I know. My mom she had to get a this camera.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And
were you not at school?
No, I wasn't at school. I was in my pajamas.
Why were you not at school?
We were at a Tuesday morning, and
why were you not at school?
I don't know.
You're playing
no, it's
hooky?
because my mom. She needed 2 people to get this like free camera or whatever.
Oh,
and
so
I was just like running around on Tuesday morning. I was like, "What are you going on?"
So she was like, "Just you're not."
Yeah,
going to
she's
school
just like, "You're not going to school." And then
that's so nice.
In the middle of that, like, you see the TVs. You're like, "Oh wow, there goes buildings."
Yeah, buildings falling. Like people crashing in a building.
Yeah, no, everyone in the store was like running around. It was really weird, but that's what I remember from it.
Well, and it's like as a kid, what do you remember, Gavin?
Well, I don't remember anything because I was like 3 years old. So
Oh, that's
No.
true. Yeah.
It's
my
kinda
mom says
weird.
has pretty much the same story though. Like she was working and then she saw the TV and kind of just felt unreal.
Yeah.
I feel like you should be more concerned. Like for us in Kansas City, it's not as bad. But like in LA or in a big city, you're like, okay, what's happening next? Are
Oh
we getting hit
yeah, I'm
next?
screwed.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was concerned.
Yeah.
The only thing, like, I don't really remember anything. I don't even think school got out early. Like some schools like let kids out, but I don't remember any of that. The only thing I remember is
I think they let us pick some your kids up.
yeah.
after
I do
that
remember
happened.
when George. I do number one. I remember when Bush ordered. I was literally at the airport getting ready to go to Disney World with my mom and like a couple of friends when they announced we were going into Iraq. And I remember my mom and her friend were making fun of it, saying it was going to be the world's shortest war. They were sitting there like, it's going to be the world's shortest war. It's going to be like 10 days. And then literally, we're still in the region however many years later. It's ridiculous.
Like every region, right?
Yeah. And then I remember I was eating kitchen.
You're eating
I was eating
kitchens.
breakfast in my grandma's kitchen when we killed Saddam Hussein. I remember that.
Oh, I was in. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was
on a weekend. It
Uh,
was like a Saturday.
oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the other guy,
Oh, is it Bin Laden?
Bin Laden. I was
Yeah.
thinking.
I remember
Bin Laden.
that. That was
I remember that.
I remember that because I remember I was like a sophomore. We were sophomores, and my friend called me and he's like, "Dude, you gonna watch Obama speak?" I was like, "What happened?" And he was like, "Obama or Osama bin Laden just got killed. He's gonna talk about it." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that was a really interesting moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was in North
Yeah, that was
Carolina.
pretty awesome.
you were.
I was in North Carolina. Yeah,
Oh,
at that
wow.
time.
Yeah, I was.
It was in the summer, wasn't it?
No, I was doing school because I remember I had
Really?
school the next day. Yeah, because we talked about it in.
Oh no, I was thinking.
Yeah, we had school.
Yeah.
I saw a towel on this like surf shop that just like had Osama bin Laden's like head getting blown off.
It did.
Yeah, it was kind of. I was just like, well, that's
Foreshadowing.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's foreshadowing
Yeah, it
of
was-
Moses.
No, it was afterwards. Like I was in. It was the summer after.
Oh,
that
the
happened.
summer after. Oh, okay. So I see.
Yeah, sorry.
It was. I mean, it was pretty. Like, and by the way, Bush set that whole thing up. It was
I was
Obama
under
basically
his
said, "Go." I love how presidents take credit
administration.
for like what the last president did.
Only the good things.
Yeah, like people blame Kennedy for the Bay of Pigs, which the Bay of Pigs was his fault. Like Eisenhower set up the whole operation, but the problem was that Kennedy started it and then didn't give air support to the people that were like to the rebels. He literally
Yeah, like
just
hesitated.
left them hanging. And so yeah, people blame Kennedy. But yeah,
But
so yeah, you get. I don't know. 9/11 was interesting. I hope I'm not around to experience another terrorist attack because
yeah,
I don't want to have the memory. You know, it's just horrible on the country.
especially a lot older.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is
All right. So another thing that happened was, well, Gavin, why don't you explain? Because you're the one who brought up the story.
Okay. Well, I didn't even like watch
I didn't
her.
watch it either. I just know what happened.
Well, I know she was just like she was talking about. She was like, okay, well, I guess half of Trump supporters you can classify them as like a basket of deplorables, and then she said, you know, they're racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic. She named all those, and like I forget. She probably named more, but I know she
Yeah.
named all five
It was
of
the
those,
typical
of
liberal
course.
argument.
Yeah, and so
Of-
she basically just called like half of Trump supporters like all those names, and it's like that's so divisive and just like you're attacking like almost a quarter of like the voting population, so
Yeah.
that's not going to get you very far.
Yeah, it's just she came, okay. So she came out. She was basically having, and then she apologized for it later, which didn't even matter because she was already.
she apologized for it.
Yeah,
I
she-
didn't know anything about.
So
this. This is
basically,
brand
what
new to
happened
me.
was she was sitting in an event, and it was clearly like a joke. Like people were laughing, but the way she said it, like she's like, "Well, I like to call Trump supporters. You know, I like to put them in my basket of deplorables." And it was. Well, let me see if I don't know if I can pull up the clip. It's not even worth it. But yeah, it was disgusting. So basically, she's like alienating, and that was Romney. You know, Romney came out and said 47%. That's the same thing. Like, if any Hillary Clinton supporters or any people were about to go support her, I mean, I'm sure there's a few people who are like, you know, that's true. I never thought of that. I'm going to go support Hillary now. But then most of them who maybe were on the fence, they're going to be like, wow, she literally just said that I am I'm a deplorable.
Let's be even more deplorable. No,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm going to be. I'm proudly deplorable. You're going to need a big
According to
basket
Hillary
to get all
Clinton.
those Trump supporters.
gonna have to multiple baskets.
Yeah, you're going to have like a bunch of baskets. It's going to be like a big old laundry basket.
You can't use the wicker anymore.
Yeah, you
get
can't use the wicker basket. That's going to fall apart. You need to get... I mean, what kind of basket would you need? That's my question. Like, I mean, if she's talking about a basket of deplorables, like, why didn't you say, like, a minivan of deplorables.
It depends
or like
on
a
where it's
semi
made.
truck of deplorables. Something that's you can't just start throwing people into baskets.
Where's it made from?
I don't know. Like,
It's not made in America.
Yeah, it's not made in America. It's made in China. She's got
Made in China.
Chinese labor outsourcing jobs to make these baskets, and she can put American citizens and send them overseas. So typical of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
So disgusting. Can't stand this woman. She doesn't even have Americans make the baskets that she's going to send us away in.
Yeah, how hypocritical can that be?
Yeah, come on. And at least Trump makes his baskets in the United States. But it's funny though. Like, why would you say basket of deplorables? Like airplane of deplorables. I put them in my airplane of deplorable. That makes sense. Like, you can't fit them in a basket.
Well, just call them a group of people. Like, why are you putting them in a basket?
Yeah, that's
It's
what
so
I'm saying. Like,
strange.
that's her like grouping. Like
That's
like
her way
watch
of
that.
doing it.
That's her grouping. I guess how she groups people. Like over there's a basket of penguins, and over here there's a hamper of giraffes, and then over here we have a washing machine of goats, and it's just like, and then over here, and then she's like
I
pointing
have
to
a bunch of
herself. We have like a
cardboard
me of
boxes of
lizards.
Cardboard boxes filled with Dylans. Just jumping out, pouring out of the box.
We have a linen closet of Michael's, and we have a sunglass hut of Gavin's. It just like what made her come up with basket of deplorables? Like, we have a trash bag of Bill Clinton's.
We're milking this so bad.
I know, it's so funny. I mean, it's just, why would you come up with basket?
It's a good
It's
question.
dumb. I mean, it's like,
Question
what are
of
you
the
doing?
century.
Yeah.
100 years. I'm almost
All right, so you're almost done with your sweetie. So during the week this week, we had what day was that on the presidential forum? Which was basically an event where Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump came on stage and they talked about foreign policy in a room full of veterans. And it was pretty interesting. They had veterans get up and ask questions, and Hillary Clinton was talking down to veterans. There was one veteran who got up and said that he handled classified information. He was like, I had access to this while I was in the military. And he said if I had neglected to use the proper protocols when handling this information, I would have been prosecuted and put in prison. And he's like, how can we trust you when you clearly misled the public or whatever? And of course, Hillary Clinton's like, well, let me tell you about who. Like, she's lecturing him, being so condescending. I mean, this woman is evil. Evil. No, but she's a horrible person. And then Donald Trump comes out, and the Twitter poll, which a lot of people don't take Twitter polls seriously, but I do. Not really seriously, but
You have to.
people watching. How many people? 86,000 people took this poll on NBC, and Donald Trump got 63%. Hillary Clinton got 28% when it came to who won the event. I mean, Hillary Clinton won with Donald Trump won by like flying colors. But Gavin had an interesting point. What did you see, Gavin, while you were looking? Gavin?
All right, I'm back.
Oh, sorry. Okay, well, we're on right now. What did what about the ear thing that you saw there?
Oh, there's just like a bunch of like reports that she was wearing an earpiece and she like covered it with her ear.
Yeah.
Or with her hair, sorry.
Well, she didn't cover. That was what was weird. Is that a lot of people say it was a hearing aid. But other people are saying it's an earpiece. But the thing is, she gave horrible answers. Like, just god-awful answers. And so you'd think if you're wearing an earpiece, your answers would be decent. I mean, her
They're trying
answers
to
were
tell her what to.
Yeah, they're trying to tell her what to
answer.
say, but her answers were still horrible. Like, you'd think if you were wearing an earpiece that you'd be like, yes, I am
Repeating
a very...
verbatim.
Yeah, she'd be good, but
Nah.
it sounded like very... Yeah.
Unintelligent.
Yeah, her answers were horrible.
Sounds
Yeah.
like something every time she speaks, really.
Yeah, she's not a very good speaker. She's sick. But I don't know. I thought the presidential forum was good. So, did you guys watch it?
No.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I did.
Did you think Trump, like, they caught him on a couple of things. Like, for example, he said he was smarter than the generals, which
Yeah,
was kind of
well,
awkward in the room full of, like, generals. And he said he was smart. He's
Yeah.
like, well, and he played it off by saying, well, under Obama,
Yeah.
they haven't been given anything.
That was, I mean, he shouldn't have said that, but he recovered
Yeah,
nicely.
he recovered pretty well. He's pretty clutch when it comes to that kind of thing. And,
He knows how to get
and then there's
away.
also the tweet when they were talking about men and women, like
Oh,
getting
yeah.
raped or women getting raped by men in the military, and then he had tweeted back in like 2013 or something like, "What do those idiots think would happen if they put men and women together?" Like, which is kind of like
it's
base
true,
tweet.
but like,
Yeah. So
and
base.
like the thing is, like, every question was an attack. Like even the follow-up questions, he's like, "Oh, so it should be expected," and he's like, "It's like no, of course that's not what he's saying," but in a sense, that kind of is because it's the truth.
Yeah, like
They
women
try to
are
make it
at
out
risk
like-
when they're in the middle. Like, it's not if you're a woman, and this is gonna sound sexist, but I'm not even. if you're a woman and you're in the military, that's a legitimate concern. Like, you're surrounded by men all the time. It's going to happen. Now, we can prevent it. We can do things to prevent it, which is what he talked about. But it still happens now. And that's why we need to prevent it in the future. Like, I think we should separate where they sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I really think we should. I mean,
there's no foolproof way to prevent it, and so, like, there's always going to be complaints, but
yeah.
Of course, there should be steps taken to help solve that.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought he did fine. Hillary Clinton did a horrible job, and the questions were so easy. Like, when they shook hands at the end, Matt Lauer was probably like, yes, I'll donate. Send to the Clinton Foundation now. Like, and he's moderating the first debate. Okay, wait, there's interesting. Do you think that she's going to use her health to get out of the debates?
I think she will, and I don't think I think that's really stupid because, well, it depends on, like, how her health, like, how bad it really is. If it's really bad and, like, it will hurt her more to be in the debate and, like, she's coughing and, like, puking up stuff, like, obviously she shouldn't go. Yeah. But then when she does that, like, that shows the public, like, how is she going to be healthy enough for president if she's not healthy enough for a debate? Yeah. So it's going to hurt her either way if she's not in good, like, shape.
Yeah, and still having, like, she already used the pneumonia excuse. You can't use it. It's been, that's like, the debates are, like, what? Almost a month away?
2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh, no. I'm so nervous, dude.
Wow.
2 weeks until Trump and Hillary get on stage. Yeah. Gary Johnson didn't make it, so that's done. But 2 weeks until Trump and Hillary get on stage and debate. I am so nervous.
Oh, I heard he wanted to get everyone up there, too.
Yeah, he said, well, I mean, there was stories about him not debating.
Did he actually say it, though?
ABC reported that was, like, a lie. But
I could see him why
I mean,
wanted to.
I would be down to see. Do you want to see all people on stage?
I do, just for the sake of different opinions, because we already know.
More questions.
I mean, it's good for the country. It's not good for the station.
Is, like, back in the other debates, like, yes, Trump got a lot of talking time, but also not enough to, like, say anything stupid. But now he has, like, a ton of talking time. Like, it's like 30 minutes each. And he only had 10 minutes in the other debate.
I think regardless if everyone was up there, I think if he just wins the crowd, he's good.
Well, the crowd is going to be stacked. The crowd is going to be stacked. There's one in St. Louis.
It's really?
I wanted to go to it, but it's already stacked. They wouldn't let me in. I should be like, I donated to the Clinton Foundation. I'll be right in. Give me a front row seat. Depending on the base of money. But no, it's going to be like they stacked the
You'd be the only
debates
one.
at the other, because what they're trying to do is discourage people from voting for Trump. If you're watching the debate and you always hear boos every time he talks, you're going to be like, oh, look, no one likes him. I'm going to go vote for Hillary. Which I don't understand how that logic makes sense, but that's what they do. And so that's what they're going to do. They're going to stack it. He's not going to win, but he's still winning with the American people. Like, the average American person likes Trump because he's,
somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, he's not a buffoon. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. Hillary's a buffoon. Literally a buffoon.
She's a big old buffoon.
A buffoon. She's a basket of buffoons. She's not just one buffoon.
She has multiple baskets.
Yeah, she's a basket of buffoons. Yeah, I don't know. I think the debate's going to be fine. And he's not preparing for him either. Newt Gingrich was on the old Greta Van Susteren show, now with Britt Hume. Did you hear Greta Van Susteren left Fox?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
She,
that show just... Oh, man, it just made me sweat watching them.
I liked that show.
It was good.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
She had like a, apparently, if the people don't know, she had like a contract that said if Roger Ailes left Fox, she could leave too. And Roger Ailes left. And so she came out and tried to like renegotiate her contract. And then it didn't. They didn't want to do it and like get more pay, so she just left. And Britt Hume took over. But anyway, Newt Gingrich was on there, and he said that like the worst thing for Trump to do would be like to over-prepare. And I agree with that. Like, you don't want to over-prepare Donald Trump, because then he's not going to sound like Trump. He's going to sound like Marco Rubio. We don't want that.
We don't need no robots here.
Yeah, we don't need no robots. Marco Robot.
Well, yeah, he's clever. It's better if he thinks for himself.
Yeah, but they said the way he prepares, they'll basically walk up to someone and be like, okay, so let's say the moderator asked me this, and then I respond with this. What do you think that'll turn out like? And then they'll explain, and then he'll listen, and then just go, and then like ask somebody else. Like, okay, well, let's say Hillary Clinton says this. What if I respond with this? And that's how he prepares for debate, which is a good way to prepare.
Yeah.
Because then you're basically getting like experience, oh, can I say this? Would this be acceptable? My fear is that he's going to be like,
He just should be honest.
He's just going to say something stupid. That's what we have to watch out for. Like, I don't want him to say that one thing where it's like, oh, God, why? You know, like he said some of those things in the debate where it's like, oh, Trump, are you kidding me? Where you take that extra step. Like you're listening to him kind of go down that road and you're like, oh, he's not going to do it. You're not going to do it. And then he does it. And you're like, what the most? It's like, why? Why did you just say that, Trump? You're an idiot. And that's what I don't want. That's what I'm genuinely afraid
smart
of.
Donald. We don't need no dumb Donald.
Yeah, we don't need no dumb Donald. Like Hillary Clinton's going to be trying to egg him on too. That's what they're going to be trying to do is make him lose his temper.
Trying to tick him off.
Yeah, that's what they had with. Yeah. That's what they had with the. They like the slideshows in the primary. Remember that?
Oh,
he's the only candidate on there. They had a PowerPoint presentation. Like, well, like they just got out of high school. Microsoft PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's probably someone's senior project.
Yeah. And then they had all those questions. Like, of course, like, Ted Cruz, what are you going to do about Hillary Clinton? Or about Hillary Clinton and Supreme Court justices? And you're like, well, listen, Donald Trump, your tax plan calls for an exact 3.25% cut of this program. Realistically. And it's like, what? Like, his questions were so skewed, and then he stands up there, he don't know. He's like, well, it's still great. It's going to be great. We're going to get China. We're going to get Mexico. It's going to be great. He's so good at it. I'm going to count the amount of times he goes on that spiel during the debate. Like, that's what he does. Whenever he doesn't know what to say,
it's going to be great anyway.
He's like, well, what's good? Look, we're getting ripped off. We're getting ripped off. Doesn't matter. We're getting ripped off.
Yeah, well, it's good because he has a go-to. Hillary doesn't have a go-to except for, like, we need a woman president. Don't you think it's time?
Her go-to is like, you know, over the past 8 years, Barack Obama has calmed down. Well, no, basically what she's going to do, she's campaigning as a third term of Obama. So what she's going to do is be like, because what scares a lot of people who don't support Trump is like having Trump in, there'll be so much change from Trump. And so Hillary Clinton's playing the card that, well, if I get in, there's not going to be any change. We're going to keep doing what we're doing now. You know, even if you don't really like it, it's still better than trusting Trump and trusting change. You know what I mean? That's her card. I don't know if it's going to work. I really don't think it'll work, but that's what she's going to try to do.
Yeah, she's going to say, like, how terrible things are right now. At least we know they're terrible. We don't want to take the risk that they'll be absolutely worse instead of getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see her, like, actually winning. I could see her getting appointed because of our corrupt system. I could see that.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like,
well, but what do you now? I just don't know. Like, she could drop out. Like, she should drop out. I would be, if she dropped out and they threw Bernie in, we would lose.
Probably.
Like, why are they not doing that?
Probably. Yeah.
We would be.
Well, he's not part of the establishment.
Yeah.
So they have no power.
Trump's movement is like, I would rather have Bernie than Hillary, for sure. Because I feel like he's going to do the same kind of thing, breaking up the establishment power. Even though the social... And most of Bernie's things will never get passed. It's kind of like electing Ron Paul. It's like most of the stuff he supports isn't going to get passed, but he's going to break up the establishment.
Well, at least he's, like, morally superior to her. Like, I don't care who it is. Like, I could disagree with someone more than Hillary, and I'll still vote for them because, I mean, it's, like, kind of your duty as an American to not let something so corrupt and, like, terrible happen.
Yeah, you do what's best for America, and she is definitely not what's best for America. Mm-hmm. She's what's best for China. No, she's definitely, yeah. And that concerns me. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where these debates go and what kind of road we go down with these debates going forward. All right, so today was the first kind of Sunday of football. I mean, obviously we had the Broncos with that epic win over the Panthers on Thursday. They beat them again. Did you see that?
I'm glad.
By a point. There were so many helmet-on-helmet hits on Cam Newton, though. They were just bashing his head. Like, it looks horrible. But anyway, the Seahawks, apparently, a ton of them. I don't watch for the only football I watch is the Broncos because I like them. Apparently, the Seahawks sat down during the pledge on 9/11. They're following in Cam Newton's footsteps. By the way, Cam Newton said he was going to donate all of his jersey sales to something, to the cause, which I don't know how good of a cause that is.
What a great cause,
yeah. But anyway,
baskets.
Baskets. Yeah, he's going to donate it to the weaving of the baskets for the deplorables. But, so they sat down, and this is just, how do you feel about this happening, guys? Like, what do you think about this?
Okay, I think, like, obviously they have the right and stuff, but it doesn't make it okay. Like, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And I mean, on 9/11, like, even if you disagree with the whole like police brutality thing, like, it's a day of remembrance, and it's kind of like you can forget about the other topic for a day and like respect those who had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like black people died in 9/11 too.
Yeah, exactly.
So shouldn't we get the common enemy of 9/11, which would be radical Islam?
Yeah, but we can't
Exactly.
be politically correct here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or,
So stupid.
what is this big movement? Like this big idiocy movement for like NFL teams?
Yeah, why are they doing this? I mean, they contribute nothing. They're like, oh, I hate this country. It's so evil. They make millions.
Yeah.
They make millions.
You're-
Most of them are black, and they make millions.
Most of them would probably be stuck in the ghetto, like, if it wasn't for America.
Exactly. That's
Like, in
so
the
true.
opportunity it
I would like to
presents.
see any of these people go over and try to make a life for themselves anywhere. I mean, these linemen are dumb.
Yeah.
Even the white ones are stupid. Like, they're all stupid. They're not going to be able to do anything else. They have no skills. They can literally tackle people and hold people away from the quarterback.
Yeah.
They'd be able to maybe be a sumo wrestler in, like, Japan.
You hear of the Minnesota Vikings?
What
They had a
happened?
little pregame rally for Harambe.
Of course they did. Gosh. Harambe, for the people listening that maybe haven't heard, Harambe was the gorilla that died. He got shot in the enclosure because a child fell down there. And they shot him. And apparently the internet's just been exploding over the past 2 months about Harambe. They have this whole movement. They just love Harambe. And now apparently the Minnesota Vikings are picking it up. They're having like a Harambe thing. Every time I live stream on YouTube, somebody asks me to talk about Harambe. Every single time. Like, and then if I mention Harambe, the comments just explode. Like, nobody cared about Harambe before. And it made it worse because the zoo, the Cincinnati Zoo where Harambe resided, came out and said, please stop with the memes about Harambe. Like, this is a very hard time for us losing our animal. And then, of course, the internet's like, ooh.
Let's make it even worse.
Yeah,
That's
whenever
exactly
you
what
say
they do.
stop, the internet just explodes and keeps going. Makes it even
I
worse.
think that's the point why they
Yeah.
actually said that, maybe.
There's like a bunch of trolls.
Yeah.
It was so
Makes
funny. And why are they even upset about it? They're the ones who shot him. Like, if you knew it was going to be that hard. Like,
Should have kept it quiet.
yeah, quiet.
When we were traveling down to the Renaissance fair, whatever that was. Holy
Yeah.
cow, that was cringy.
Oh, so liberal. Okay, so
actually, it wasn't. You'd
were
see a
okay, like the
couple
people acting in it were liberal.
Yeah,
The people there were really conservative, surprisingly.
Yeah,
like
like-
I thought we were going to walk down there and be a bunch of Bernie supporters.
there was one.
There were a couple emos, but for the most part, it was okay. So let's look at these polls because we're getting really close to. I mean, like you said, 2 weeks away from the debate. Stuff is starting to break down, right? I mean, this is when you got to get your movement going. I'm looking at Real Clear Politics. We have general election right here. Clinton 46, Trump 41. Here's another general election. This is ABC News, Washington Post. Clinton 51, Trump 43. LA Times, U.S. tracking, Clinton 45, Trump 44. Nevada, NBC Wall Street Journal, Clinton 41, Trump 42. Nevada, NBC Wall Street Journal, same thing. Arizona, Trump 40, Clinton 38. Another Arizona, Trump 42, Clinton 41. New Hampshire, Clinton 39, Trump 37. New Hampshire again, Clinton 42, Trump 41. Georgia, Trump 44, Clinton 42. Should be doing better in Georgia. Florida, Clinton.
We're not winning in Georgia.
No, well, we're winning
No.
barely. Florida.
Oh, and
I didn't hear it well. I'm just.
Oh
kinda zoning
no,
out
he's
on
getting stomped. Ohio. Clinton 46, Trump 39.
yeah, but
But that's CBS News YouGov, so you know they're oversampling.
and polls are just, I don't believe polls in general, but anyway, back to like the New Hampshire thing. Like Johnson has like 15, and I mean, like, because New Hampshire is basically like all independents, so there will probably be a lot for Johnson, but I still think Trump will beat Hillary there
He
because there's
only
so
needs,
many
like,
independents.
If he just gets what Romney got and Hillary gets what Obama got, he only needs 16 more electoral votes to win. That's it.
Look, like, okay, you know what we do for these states? You go back to the primary and see how many votes Hillary got and how many Trump got, and with
Well,
that
Hillary's
you can
gonna get
add a
more
few
just 'cause there
million
are
onto
less
Trump.
competitors. That's the
Yeah,
only
exactly.
reason.
You add like a few million onto Trump's, like, minus, yeah, about half probably didn't support Trump, like that supported other candidates.
But
and
now a
about
lot of
half
them do, though. That's
you know.
what you got to figure out. is how many of those people that didn't vote for Trump in the primaries, because he got a lot of votes, with
Yeah.
16 people in the race, he still beat the record for the most votes of any Republican candidate. Think about that.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, oh yeah. Right?
Yeah.
But
17 candidates.
now what he needs to figure out is how many of those people who didn't vote for Trump are going to vote for him in the election. How many of those people that didn't vote for him are going to vote for him? How many are going to stay home? Because that's his biggest thing. I think he can win. I think he can pull off surprise wins in places like Michigan, of all places. I really think he can pull it off there because, that's a big Ford assembly plant. You got GM. That's a very industrial area. Trump's talking a lot about that. He's doing his African-American outreach thing, which I think is amazing. This whole African-American outreach thing he's been doing. Because Hillary Clinton's been doing nothing for the African-American community. She has done nothing. Like, there is some African-American...
She went to church with her hot sauce.
Yeah. There was some African-American lady on Twitter who was attacking me for saying that Trump's doing more for African-Americans. By the way, when I say that, I'm quoting Reverend Jesse Jackson, who in 1999 literally said that Donald Trump, he doesn't know where minorities would be without Donald Trump. So I'm just quoting him. That Donald Trump's done way more for African Americans than Hillary. And she's like, no, he's racist. And I'm like, what has he done that's racist? And she's like, Hillary's done more. I'm like, okay, first of all, you didn't answer my question. Second of all, what's she done? I was like, the crime bill where she threw a bunch of African American people in prison. I'm like, what do you want? Like the healthcare that totally failed? Like nothing.
Danger
Look at the
watch.
liberal policies that she supports, that she wants to continue doing. It's gotten worse in inner cities under Obama. He's the first black president. Black on black crime's going up.
Yeah, and it's just funny how, like, a lot of the African-American community is like, I'll always vote Democrat, and, like, Obama was, like, the best president we've ever had. And it's like, you take a look at, like, unemployment rate is up for black and black youth. Like, wages are down. Home ownership is down. Everything is worse. There's not one thing that's gotten better.
Yeah.
And it's like, they claim him to be the best president. It's like, he has done nothing. Like, it's just such a lie. And these people just buy into it. It's just sad.
Well, Hillary Clinton wants to do more. That's what I don't get.
I know.
Like, if you're an African American and you vote for Hillary Clinton, you're literally just asking for the same thing. Like, your life is going to suck if you vote. That's, Donald Trump made that quote, what do you have to lose? He said to the African American, what do you have to lose? Why not vote for me? It's like, what do you have to lose? Literally nothing. You have more to lose under Hillary Clinton.
And, like, everyone says it's racist, but it's, like, completely true. It's like, you've been voting the same way for how many years, and where has it gotten you? Like, in society,
they vote the same way because
worse.
the Democrats keep expanding the welfare state to the point of where every time the Republicans run, they're like, we got to cut this, and the Democrats are like, oh, they're going to cut it. You better be scared. They're not going to be able to feed your kids. And then they have to vote Democrat. They're like catching them in the system. Democrats are terrified of losing the African American vote because if the African Americans vote for the Republican and the Republican wins, they won't need the welfare state anymore. They'll get jobs. They'll get back to work. The inner cities will be fixed up. They'll have no reason.
They'll lose those votes forever.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just like Lyndon Johnson, the famous quote, I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. That's what he said when he started the Great Society. Because he knew that he'd capture them in the system. And they wouldn't be able to get out again.
It's really sad.
Exactly, and because there was economic problems.
Yeah.
And then, so they were promised, like, an out, basically, and that's why there was a lot of Democrats elected at that time.
Yeah.
But if one Republican gets in and does a good job, then it's pretty much over. Like, we'll have... if Trump... Okay, I'm going to say now, if Trump is elected and he does good, he will be reelected, and he'll continue to do good, there will be a strain of Republicans for a while.
Let me ask you this. Because, and that actually backs up, look at Reagan.
Yeah.
Reagan,
exactly.
Bush won after Reagan. And the only reason Bush didn't win a second term is because of Perot. That's the only reason Bush didn't win another term. So Bush would have won, and arguably, without Perot, there would have been no Bill Clinton. There would be no Hillary Clinton. There'd be no nothing.
Yeah.
You go, well, I mean, Clinton probably would have run no, I don't even know. Like, there may not have been any Bill Clinton. But some stupid independent had to get there and mess everything up.
Johnson.
Yeah. Idiot. Well, not Johnson can't do anything. He has no pool. What is Aleppo? But I had a really good point to make.
And what is?
Oh, yeah, let me ask you this: what do you think makes Trump? You said he has to do a good job. What makes good job? Like, what would Trump?
Well, obviously, okay. Well, not necessarily completely wiping out ISIS, because that's a complicated problem, and
he just has to make Americans feel more safe. That's literally all you have to do.
Yeah,
you don't have to destroy ISIS. You just have to make Americans feel more secure, which they don't.
And you do that, and you do that by taking them out and decreasing their size and power.
Exactly.
So I think having a presence in the Middle East and doing it successfully without pulling a Bush and staying there forever,
and then pulling an Obama and backing out,
and then exactly, mayhem. They both messed up, and so not doing that, and then besides that, all he has to do is maybe he doesn't even have to cut taxes. Like that would be a plus, but he probably doesn't even have to, as long as he can maybe lift some regulations and get the economy going and just slightly better, then that's all he really needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, he has to cut but the thing is, he also has to start working down the debt.
Yeah.
Like, that's another big thing he has to do.
And at least keep it neutral. He can't just add on.
What about the wall? Do you think he has to build the wall?
I don't think he has to, but I think he wants to. And, I think people will be pissed off at first. Like, that was a huge promise, and, he's not going to follow through on it. But if everything else is... Because what the wall comes down to is the economy, and people think that will help our economy and safety. But if he's already making the economy better and making people feel safe without the wall, then they won't care as much.
That makes absolute sense. A lot of people don't. And, he has to either deport people. If he doesn't deport if he gets in there, doesn't deport anybody, doesn't build the wall, people are going to be like, what the Moses? Like, we literally...
he'll deport people. Every president has. I mean, Obama...
he wouldn't do it.
But I don't think it matters. Like, if he does a good job, Trump supporters are going to still come back, look what he did, he helped. Things have turned around. Doesn't really matter if he builds the wall or not. Anyway, that's it for the Parentis Perspective show here on KCXL 102.9 FM and 1140 AM, where it's all good. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the show today. If you enjoyed and you want to see more, you can go check me out on YouTube at Dylan's Daily Show and go from there. I post daily, so you can go check me out there. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you next Monday at 1 p.m. Bye-bye.